Looking to find out what the 10 best rare and mythic cards are from Throne of Eldraine for Cube? Well, stay tuned because we're going to be discussing that right now. Hello and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name's Mark and thank you so much for joining me, and if this is your first time here, welcome, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any of my future Cube videos. Well, the rare and mythics certainly didn't disappoint from this set, and I mean, there are some really good cards that didn't quite make my list, but if you disagree with any of the cards that I've put on there or have missed any out, let me know in the comment section below because we're really interested in finding out what your thoughts are, and also it also help any of the other viewers from this video. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. So starting off at number 10, we have a really interesting growing 2-drop for green in the form of Wildborn Preserve. A 2/2 flash body with reach for 2 is good value, although not that exciting for a creature, but that's not why this guy is worth a look at. The ability to sink mana into it whenever a non-human creature comes into play, including tokens, could make this get out of hand very quickly. Whether it's good enough compared to the other growing 2-drops like Scavenging Ooze, Tarmogoyf, Sylvan Advocate or Vinelasher Kudzu remains to be seen, but if you have the room for the card, it could certainly be one of those threats that you're looking for. Taking a low converted mana cost slot in white is pretty tough, especially if it isn't an aggressive creature, but Charming Prince may well have the ability to do just that. This is a great blink enabler and payoff in white with all of the different options you have when it enters the battlefield. Getting Scry 2 in white, which typically doesn't have the greatest card selection, is really useful. The 3-life game makes it only 1 worse than Lone Missionary, but you do get 1 extra toughness and more versatility. Just for the amount of options that he gives you means that you won't be disappointed in giving this one a test. Coming in at number 8, we have a very interesting Black Fairy rogue in the form of Rankle, Master of Pranks. While I'm not quite as high on this card as others have been, I still believe it's a really good black card that, if you can make the effect asymmetrical, which shouldn't be too hard in black, could do some serious work for you. Rankle being a 3/3 flying haste creature for 4 with no force drawback is a great place to start for a card, but with the combat damage trigger being optional and being able to choose more than 1 mode for free is fantastic. With the discard and sacrifice modes easy to make asymmetrical in black, building around it similar to a Braids deck, this could be the beta that really helps you win the game. Here you're getting yourself a very versatile card in black, and one that definitely is worth testing, plus the artwork looks great too. Coming in at number 7, green get themselves a 4/4 for 4 with potentially 6 relevant lines of text in the form of Questing Beast. This card isn't super exciting in how it plays, but it is crazy good at what it does. A great answer to Planeswalkers, attacks really well with haste and vigilance, trades up due to death touch, can't be chump blocked by less than 3 power, and stops fog effects to boot. I mean, what more would you want in a card to make an impact in Cube? It's a bit of a no-brainer really to find a home for this card. Even if it isn't that exciting, it's still probably better than a lot of the 4-drops you currently have. Being the only blue card in this list, it had to be a good one, and the flexibility of Brazen Borrower definitely made it that. The adventure mechanic shines here, getting an Into the Royal alongside a flash 3/1 flying creature that can get value from either attacking in or blocking another flyer. The fact that you don't need to use these at the same time to get the most value from it certainly makes this adventure card stand out from the likes of Nimble Obstructionist and Riftwind Cloudskate. If you're playing either of those or Into the Royal still, then this would be a nice upgrade for you. It would have been an amazing card, and definitely higher up in the list if it didn't have the blocking stipulation, but for many control decks that shouldn't be a deal breaker. I'm a really big fan of this card as it really does show how powerful and good those adventure cards can be. Garrick has returned, and in some style. While 6 mana is a lot for a Planeswalker, the fact that he creates 2 2/2 tokens for his almost loyalty gaining ability is really good. Too often with 6 mana Planeswalkers, you'll only be getting 1 token to protect, which just isn't good enough when compared to Elspeth Sun's Champion. This is much more what I'd like to see from a 6 mana Planeswalker. His -3 ability allows you to deal with any problem on the board and to get a card for your troubles. Even if your opponent kills Garrick in the next turn, you've still got a 2-for-1 and probably gain some tempo in the process. The emblem certainly isn't out of the question either, and if you do manage to get to it, it's certainly a game ender. Stopping him getting there will either be letting the walls through for damage or swinging in the air. The only issue I can see here is the cost and the number of guild slots you have available. Is a 6-mana Planeswalker in Golgari going to see enough play? Potentially, but does it take a spot over Assassin's Trophy, Maelstrom Pulse or Pernicious Deed? Doubtful. Could it be an improvement over 6 costed Vraska? Potentially, it's definitely one to give a try. Coming in at number 4 is a land that will pretty much go straight into many people's cubes, if not all of them, and that is Fabled Passage. While this is no prismatic vista, Fabled Passage is far better than Evolving Wilds or Terramorphic Expanse, allowing for lands to come in untapped later on in the game when you meet the criteria. If you're running either Evolving Wilds or Terramorphic Expanse in your cube, then this is a slam dunk replacement and one that will go straight in. Mono Red get themselves an amazing new addition at number 3 in the form of Bone Crusher Giant. Again, an adventure card that is relevant at many points in the game. The 4/3 body for 3 for no downside and a punishing ability on top is fantastic for a modal card. While the burn spell attached to it isn't better than other 2-mana costed utility red spells in the cube for a more spells heavy or control style decks, but that is not where this card shines. The Giant is here for red based aggro or mid-range decks, and for that it's going to definitely be finding at least a testing spot, if not a permanent one. Coming in at number 2, we have a potential 0 mana cost spell that draws you a card and smooths out green decks in the form of Once Upon a Time, which is certainly something I can get on board with. Once Upon a Time is a great way for a green decks to find that turn 1 mana dork to get you on your way without having to mulligan, or pay 2 mana later on in the game to find a big fatty to close it out. While it doesn't find you a piece of removal when you need it or a planeswalker to ramp into, I still think this is definitely good enough to find a home. The number 1 slot should come at no surprise, as this has to be my top adventure card of the set, and for good reason. Getting a Hero's Downfall on a very relevant lifelinking body which your opponent will think twice about killing because it will just go back into your deck. Plus, the lifelink is a great way to offset the life cost of the swift end part of the card. Instant speed for 2 life lost is a price I'm more than happy to pay, and as a result it puts this card above Ruinous Path or Never to Return for me, especially with a better creature attached to the card. Murderous Rider is a great target to bounce back, to kill more things, and a great chooser target if you need a versatile piece of removal. So for the number of decks that this card fits into, plus its versatility, makes this a cube staple for me for a long time to come. So there we have my top 10 rares and mythics from the set, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, there were some ones that were very unlucky not to make the cut. So again, let me know in the comment section below what your favourite ones are from the set. Have I got the order wrong, or have I missed anything out? Be very interested to find out, and I'm sure many of the other viewers here will be very interested to see what your thoughts are as well. And if you've missed any of the other videos, there'll be a link in the description as well below for you, so you can go and check those out as well if you want to see the uncommons and commons. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button and also the subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any of my future Cube content. And if you want to follow me on social media, all of my links are in the description below, where I'd like to actually get to know you and actually talk more about Cube outside of YouTube. That's the place to be. And I've also got a Discord server which is slowly gaining a little bit of community members from the channel, so definitely check that out as well if you want to talk about Cube outside of YouTube. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.